What's up everybody, I'm Abatage and welcome to a Backlog Blues on a fairly recent-ish kind of game for a change. Maybe? I can't remember, but this is 911 Operator. It's an odd little game, but it's actually kind of fun, and I've already sunk like 8 hours into it without even realising, so there's that. I believe this might have been a Kickstarter title, but don't quote me on that because who knows. I've done a little bit of playing around with it obviously already. As I said, I've got 8 hours in it, but I haven't finished the campaign or anything because I'm still going on the career, which will continue right here. But essentially it's a very small game, like, there's not much to it, and it is a little bit buggy every now and then, so if it crashes, too bad. But about every third mission it crashes on me, which is kind of shit. Options are limited, you know, you got easy, medium, hard, blah blah blah. I'd like to see some key bindings and stuff for shortcuts and stuff would have been really good, but this is ultimately 100% mouse driven, which is kind of crap in parts, which we'll look at as we go. But basically you play the role of a 911 operator looking at the map of a city with ambulances, police and fire trucks all ready to be deployed, and when incidents happen you deploy various people to take care of it. So, you know, if there's a crime going down, you might want to send this bike dude who's pretty fast over to take care of things. Each of these officers obviously have loadouts where you can equip them with different equipment in here from the shop. So I could buy them, like, you know, rifles instead of pistols or whatever, providing I have the money. And down here you can see I've got $53,000 at the moment. So essentially it's what it breaks down to. Like, this is everything I have currently. So at the moment you can see I've got 2 vehicles. I've got a fireman's pickup and a medical transport. I also have some staff. These guys got wounded, so they're out for now. You can see some of there will say health 99%, so they're almost ready to be back. They've each got stats, so they've got different performance about, you know, how well they'll work and how quickly they'll get things done. The problem I have with all this sort of stuff in the game is that none of this actually amounts to much. Maybe it does later in the game, but especially in the early game, which is kind of, I guess, where I might be at, it's kind of moot. Like, their stats don't actually account for much. So, you know, they've all got different performance. That guy's got 74 marksmanship. This person's got 86 marksmanship and 99 driving. This one's got 61 driving. You know, so they've all got different stats about how they can drive, which I assume means they get there faster. Or, you know, there's also helicopters. Or how quickly they get their job done, essentially. Now, one thing I do need to do is get some firemen into here. So over on these are our squads, our current setups, and these are the squads that I will be able to use during the next duty, the next deployment. But over here we can buy them equipment and all that kind of stuff to make their jobs easier and make their lives easier. And I wanted to spend some money on the fire department because we need another fire person anyway, because these people are out and injured, so I want at least 2 in the helicopter. The toolboxes basically mean they can get through obstructions easier, so that's good. We'll give this mob some tools. I kind of want to give them some vests as well, but they're $2.5 grand. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. What's 2.5 times 9? It's 5, 20, 22.5? Yeah, so probably about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And we'll give them all fire suits, which will just help them not get injured, basically. So, you know, there's all this kind of planning stage of getting everything together and making sure you've got your squads ready and all that kind of thing. But ultimately, these stats, I never look at them. Never look at them. So make of that what you will. And there's a lot of equipment here as well that we can get into, but essentially the main element I've found to be important is, I might buy some more toolboxes actually for these guys. Toolboxes, just if there's like debris in the way, they'll get through it quicker. And essentially the whole game is about getting things done as quickly as possible. So you can see this guy's already got a rifle. But the main stats that I've been paying attention to are the vehicle stats. So this is a motorbike. You can see it's fast. It can go 207. I'm assuming that's kilometers an hour because that's pretty fast. But it might be miles because that's even fucking faster. 200 miles an hour? I mean, come on. Anyway, it can fit 2 people, so we've got 2 people assigned to this vehicle. But its places is 0, so it basically can't carry any passengers. Whereas the car here has 2 places. It's slower, but it also has 2 places, so it can be used to transport criminals, as you can see there in the description. Obviously, we go further down. This van can carry 4 criminals, but it can also carry 4 police officers. I don't have 4 police officers in there at the moment because, you know, they all cost money. Whereas similar thing with the ambulance. So this guy can carry 3 ambos and can only carry 2 patients. Whereas this guy can carry 3 ambos and carry 3 patients. And similar things like that. Whereas the helicopter can carry 2 crew. There's only 1 place for a patient. So on and so forth. So to me, that's the kind of composition that you want to be getting familiar with this game. And I know we've been talking in the menu a lot, but it's kind of important because this setup will affect how you play the game. So anyway, there are things like, if you pull over someone on a motorbike and give them a fine, that's cool because you're not arresting them, so then they can be left on their way and that's the job done. But if you pull someone over for drink driving or something, then you're going to need a vehicle to come and pick up that prisoner. So there's no point kind of doing it with a bike, but the bike is faster, so if they're speeding along drunk on the road and going really quickly, maybe the car would have a hard time catching up with it, whereas the bike will be able to catch up with it, no worries. So there's, you know, those sorts of things. Or, you know, maybe there's a big fire and there's lots of wounded, so you want to send the bigger truck to go pick up the wounded. Or these fire trucks are even different, so maybe you want to send a technical truck because it's something like, I don't know, there's a road accident instead of an actual burning building. So this technical vehicle will be better at clearing up the road accident than this fire truck, which is just basically built for putting out fires. So you see how they're all kind of a little bit different. And then when we go to deployment, we'll have a chance now to have a look at our map. So this will be our map for this particular duty, which is the mission. And you can see here it's kind of faded out on the edges. That's the limit of our jurisdiction kind of thing, I guess. And this is obviously a map of San Francisco, which, you know, they use real maps. The closest city to me is Adelaide in South Australia, so I downloaded an Adelaide map and it had the map of Adelaide. So, you know, it's cool. It's a bit funny sometimes how it chooses the streets, because like not all these streets can be driven on, only these ones which are thicker. So it tends to go more on main roads and that sort of thing. And things like hospital placements and things are not necessarily accurate. So these white squares indicate a hospital. So if you pick up wounded, you're going to have to take them back to a hospital. These red ones indicate fire stations, and the blue ones indicate police stations. So you know, if you pick up criminals, you're going to have to take them back to a police station if they've been arrested, that sort of thing. So that's kind of the gist of it all. And we'll get started in a second, but you can see how we've got all our different types of vehicles, and you want to have kind of a decent coverage of the city. We can select vehicles by coming to units on the left here, and you can see that they're all on patrol at the moment. They don't have any assignments. You can also view your current incidents over here, which we won't be able to view at the moment because we don't have any, but we'll unpack that as we go through the game anyway. Right now though, I want to put a car over here because we don't have anything there, and they'll just kind of find their way there. And because we haven't started yet, it just quickly gets it done. I want to see if this bike's on his own, which he is. I want a car up here. Okay, there's a bike over here. And there's this guy, so he can stay at that police station actually. Well, maybe he can move to this one. But so there's different things to consider, like a bike is really good for covering a large area because they can quickly get places. However, because they can't pick up criminals or anything, it's good to have a car nearby or a van or that sort of thing. So, you know, there's that sort of stuff to consider. And same with the ambulances and that kind of thing, because there's like, at the moment we don't really have much covering this area, so I might just pull this guy down to this hospital. They don't have to go to the hospitals, I just find it a good kind of reference point to put them on. And similarly, I might just move this guy up here a little bit, because it just saves that little bit of time during the day. So now we have this clock ticking down at the top here, and this will basically indicate our entire day. Once the black goes, we'll be towards the end of the day. And this is where I'd like some key controls, really. But let's have a look. We've got a new incident pop up, and it's a homicide. Let's just pause while we talk about it. We'll quickly go through the rest of the day, but we've paused time right now so we can just have a quick little look at what's going on. Each time an incident pops up, we get this, which is kind of all the details we need. So witnesses saw an act of committing murder. The suspect is still on the crime scene. The police should be sent immediately. So there's one suspect and they're armed. So because it's a murder, we're going to need someone to arrest them. So we'll send this car. But they're probably going to need backup as well, because this guy's armed and he might open fire. So we might send in this bike. And because it's a homicide as well, we may need to send in an ambulance, but we may not as well. So now that we've assigned those vehicles, we can hit wait. And you can see on our incidents there's a homicide here, and it's been going for 1 second because we've paused everything. So if we hit play again, you'll see they'll start moving towards there. And these other vehicles, the other police vehicles, do a little patrol kind of route. So if we speed it up a bit, you can see they're going. And now we're going to get our first call, which is basically the fun part.
911, what's your emergency?
Yeah, hello. There is a fight out in the street. Can you please send the police quickly?
How many of them are there?
4 men are fighting.
Is anybody injured?
It's hard to tell, but one of them has taken a lot of punches. I just can't believe he's still standing after that.
Can you give me a precise address of the incident?
Yes, of course. It's at...
Did you see if they had any weapons?
Yes, they have knives.
I'm sending emergency services right now.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay, so I didn't want to talk through that because you want to hear the calls. And the reason I thought this was kickstarted, and it probably is because I think a lot of these voices and stuff are crowdsourced, at least. So a lot of these calls, they sound a bit odd, and there's a little bit... The voice acting's interesting, to say the least. But, yeah, it's a bit hit and miss when it comes to the voice acting for calls and that sort of thing. But you get a transcript of the call, so you can see what's going on, and you basically select your options and responses through here. And sometimes it can be a bit, you know... You have to actually make some decisions, which hopefully we'll see as we go on. But that's why I assigned 2 police to go do this. We might need to assign some... ambulance dudes as well, because it's a fight and they might be injured. So we might just send... We'll leave it for now because they can go pick them up in a sec. And that's what I mean. Things usually go a lot quicker than this, but at the same time we can see our bike dudes have come under fire. And if we go now, we can have a look at the incident a little bit more closely, where we've got our 2 bike cops who are there. This guy's now injured, currently fighting. And we've got our Scarlet Cox, who's the suspect. He's making shit difficult for our bike cops, so that's why these guys are on their way to kind of back them up. So let's just speed up time a little. And we need ambulance now because there's been a fight. So let's hope our other guys get there soon. Looks like our dudes have won though. So as you can see, they're no longer fighting, they're just injured. And so is the suspect, and it says it will be resolved in 56 seconds, so they will apply some sort of either arresting her or healing her or that sort of thing, and it'll take 56 seconds. The more cops that are here and the more other people are here, that'll speed up. So, you know, when you've got like 4 or 5 suspects and things and you've got only 2 cops, they could be overwhelmed and that sort of thing, so you need to, you know, support them sufficiently. So now over here we've also got a new incident, which is a building on fire. So there's a fire in a large building. It's possible there are people trapped inside. So we've got 1 injured and we've got a large fire. So what I'm going to do with this one, because it's only 1 injured, I'm going to actually select the helicopter, send them over there. You can see they obviously don't take the roads, they just have a straight flight. And I'm going to send the fire helicopter there as well, and a fire truck. So let's see how that goes, and we'll tell them to wait. because we've got dudes on the way. And this is where I'd like keyboard shortcuts, is what I'm saying. Like these speed controls here, I'd like to be able to press like 1, 2, 3, 4 to select the speed, but at the moment you have to do everything mouse driven. So it can be a bit of a pain. But it's nice when you see all this stuff happening and you can see them all heading towards the incident. And so now we can see like this. There's a fire here. These guys are helping out this injured person. These guys are also helping out the injured person because that's the priority over the fire. But then they'll start sorting out the fire as soon as they're done. And if we head back to this incident, we can see she's now in 30 seconds going to be resolved because we've got more police and we've got ambos on the scene who are helping her out. And if we head back over to this call, these are the dudes who are fighting in the street. So you can see there's a whole lot of them. A couple of them have got weapons. Still fighting. So this is where it's going to help once these extra police rock up. Then we'll be able to take care of this incident much quicker. So you can see how it kind of unfolds, and throughout a shift you've got lots of things coming in. So let's just play out the shift now. So I tend to go on the minimum speed when a new incident pops up just to see what's happening. So a group of vandals is demolishing property.
What are the orders?
These guys, you can see the little squares above their vehicle, which shows if they've got criminals on board. Thankfully these guys don't.
Reporting. Heading over there.
So they've just finished off with this incident, and I'm going to send them straight over to this one. These guys are under fire now. So, you know, they're working it out. They'll probably be fine though, I'm sure. But we are going to need an ambulance down there, and because there's lots of people, I'll send a bigger ambulance. So, you know, and that's basically how it goes. So let's continue on. And see what'll happen.
Requesting support. Requesting support.
Yeah, so these guys already need backup. So they're probably going to need an ambulance there as well. But we've got another incident, which is an epilepsy attack. So we'll send this van. We can wait. These fire trucks are finished, so I'm going to send one of them back here. The helicopter can stay where it is because it's pretty quick anyway, getting where it needs to be. But once they're done, I do like to redistribute.
911,
each
what's
squad.
your emergency?
Hello? My stomach hurts really bad.
So this guy, the
So how
first
long
thing
do
to
you have
ask
this
is
summer
how
then?
long.
I've been feeling awful since this morning.
Because sometimes he says,
and it feels like it's getting worse
oh,
by
it's
the
been
hour.
2 weeks. And you're like, fuck
All right,
off.
does anything else hurt?
I vomited half an hour ago.
So, do you have any other symptoms?
No, I don't think so.
Sir, have you drank alcohol lately?
Well, I went to a party last night and maybe I drank a bit too much.
See that, like, sometimes I don't like the voiceover, as in, the way he says that is like, have you been drinking?
What's your address, sir?
And it's like, come on, man, be a bit more professional than that. Like, I will send this
Okay,
dude an
I'll
ambulance
send the
just in
ambulance.
case, even though he
Thank
might
you.
have just been drinking
Thank
and
you
he might have
very
a hangover.
I'll wait for them to get here. Bye.
But I'm not going to talk to him with disdain in the meantime, you know? It's kind of just a bit weird the way they've scripted it.
Reporting. Heading over there. Reporting. Right away.
So because we're low on numbers, I'm sending the helicopter to this one because it's only one person. And I think everyone else is pretty much... Whoa, there's an earthquake. Haven't experienced this before, this is a new thing.
Oh God, an earthquake!
Okay, so that's obviously going to create some issues.
Requesting support. Requesting support.
You want some more backup, do you? These guys, how you doing? Let's we are paused. Okay. Now this is not me pausing for the video. This is me just pausing because it's worth looking at sometimes just to see. See you? Yeah. Yeah, fair enough. Hurt by rubble. So this is a technical job, so if we've got a technical truck available,
Heading over there.
they'll be able to deal with that a lot quicker. We'll get to the injured... Oh no, this guy can come.
Right away.
This one, building on fire, so we kind of need a firefighter. So that one.
Understood.
Let's send our helicopter as well, because why not? We've got it. And then we'll send an ambo when we've got a free one. These dudes who are under fire are still suppressing people. But I don't really have... I've got this spare vehicle. These guys can probably head that way. And if anything else comes up, we can redistribute. Okay, lots of things coming up. Water leak. Oh, man. Never done an earthquake before. Now I know why they suck. Well, okay, well, you're not going to get 2 up to here then. Let's go... Water leak. Road breach. Collapsed house. So that's where anything but a fire is a technical job, basically. So you can go there.
Waiting for orders.
You can go... you can go helicopter your way over there. That'll do. Look, we're just gonna have to go with what we can at the moment.
We're done here.
Oh, and we've got a call.
911, what's your emergency?
Oh God, I finally gotten through. Send someone over here.
Sir, what's your emergency?
The Collinses, my neighbor's house. It literally falling apart, collapsed. I don't know what to do.
What's the address for that house?
Their house is at...
Were your neighbors inside?
I think so.
Okay, how many people live in the house?
6. But Ted surely went to work in the morning.
So if Ted's gone to work, there could be as many as 5 people in the house?
Yes?
So who would be in the house and what are their ages?
A woman, 2 children or 3. Rouse is older though, she's in college, and Sue, their grandma...
Didn't ask for your life story, mate. This is the weakest part of the whole game.
Has the house completely collapsed?
Yes, there's only a single wall fragment left.
Can you hear anything from under the rubble? Voices, somebody calling out for help?
I don't know. I waited a while after the earthquake stopped, and I looked out the window and saw that and started calling you immediately.
So this is where you make a decision, like, are you going to tell him to go look for
What I need
them?
you to do is, as soon as we're off of this phone call, go over to the collapsed house, but don't walk on the rubble, okay? Maybe you can manage to figure out where the rescuers can start looking for people. Help them find them faster. But if you smell gas, stay out of the area.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, that sounds fair enough. Call others.
You can try to get the other neighbors to start removing the rubble.
Okay, anything else?
Please wait for fire and ambulance to arrive.
I'll do as you said.
Yeah, I mean, the voice acting and the
Case resolved.
choices and that sort of thing are definitely the weakest part of this entire game.
Listening.
So, you know, keep that in mind. But we have... Okay, there's an ambo going to this guy who's probably going to be nothing. There's a lot of shit going on at the moment. I've never done an earthquake before, and of course it happens right now.
Reporting.
This guy, you can go figure that out.
I'm listening.
You can go up this way, because you can end up going this way. Yeah, let's do that. Our coppers are free now as well, which is good. I'm going to keep this up because I want to see if anyone's free. 'Cause as soon as they are, like this guy,
Reporting.
there's one injured there, so you can go do that.
Medical heading to case resolved.
Okay. So you're on patrol now.
We're done here.
Who was that? Where are you?
Reporting.
This guy, okay. Off you go.
There. Right away. We're done here.
God damn.
I'm listening. Right away.
I mean, so you can see pretty easily how quickly things can get confusing and hectic.
Standing. Waiting for orders.
You can see that this guy's full of wounded because he's got 3 squares over him. There's another wounded there. He's going back to the hospital. But there's only one needing assistance, so
Heading over there.
you can do both, buddy. You are doing that. You're now on patrol. So you can go check out this mob. You can do whatever. You guys will redistribute you a bit. You can head up there. You can head over here. Okay, I think we're pretty good right now. But yeah, the weakest part of the game is the actual 911 calls, which is kind of a shame because, you know, this bit of controlling a map and deploying resources and that kind of thing, it's kind of a strategy game. It's a bit of a puzzle to solve, you know, which is really fun and really interesting, especially when it gets hectic like this and you've got limited resources. It really shows that it's a really good kind of feeling, I guess, like you do feel hectic and like there's too much going on and you can't handle it all. But the problem with the voice acting is that a lot of the time, a lot of the voice actors, especially the actual 911 responder who you play as, half the time he sounds just pissed off, like, "Ugh, you're calling me? Why? What are you calling me about now?" kind of thing. Like, that's his attitude. And it's like, I get that maybe that's trying to represent the fact that a lot of people call 911 without a good reason, or, you know, irresponsibly. However, it doesn't play that way when they say it like that. It just kind of feels like...
What are the orders? I copy. Go in there.
It just kind of feels like they're having a whinge, which is, you know, not good. Oh, I need police here as well. God damn. Oh, now I do need that fire truck. Okay. So sometimes you don't know what is needed until you actually get there. But, yeah, it's like, if there is a downfall to this game, that's what it is. Very much so. Okay, we need more medical here.
Medical heading to hospital.
Grabbing over and just getting out of the base.
Okay, cool. Let's boost along a bit. Who's done here? You're done here. Okay. You can pretty much stay there for now. It's kind of hard doing all of this at once, but that's the idea, I suppose. You can just stay here as well. And you can stay here, because you can go do this. Although there's 2 injured there. Okay, so you can go do that. You can come here. Let's take our call in a second. This guy can go do this one that's far, or this one first. Let's see what they're calling about now.
Whoa, dude. We have a situation here.
Okay, what happened?
You know, a car fell into the ground.
Sir, what's your location?
It's at...
Oh, okay, that's not far from some other stuff.
Is there anyone still in the car?
Yeah. A woman.
All right. Tell me what happened, sir.
After the quake, the road just cracked and kind of split up. And the car just fell there.
So the car is in one of the cracks in the roadway.
It partially, slid into the hole.
How deep is the hole the car is in?
Let me have a look. Well, I don't know. 6 to 8 feet? Maybe more.
I already want to shoot this dude.
Is the car still running?
No. I mean, it was running, but the lady driving it stopped and turned it off when the shaking started. I guess she was just panicked.
I'm sending the emergency service.
This guy does not sound like someone who I can rely on to
Better
help.
be quick. The trimmers might start again.
Well, I hope not. But yeah, so it's interesting because I think one of the things they wanted to portray with the game, because they have like little cliff notes and stuff here and there, is that, you know, people call 911 unreliably and unrealistically, or for stupid things like, I feel a bit sick, I better call 911. It's like, it's not really an emergency, just go see your doctor, bitch. And, you know, that's cool, and I get that they're trying to show that.
What are the orders? On my way.
The problem I have with it is just that this 911 operator who we're meant to be playing as is constantly like, "Oh, are you really sure that you're in trouble? I'm so fucking annoyed. I wish I didn't have to do my job," kind of thing. You know? So it gets a bit tiring after a while, and it would be nice if there was some more options, like different operators that you could choose, but obviously that would require more voice acting to have been recorded and that sort of thing. So, you know, I get that that's a difficult thing to accomplish. It's just, it's a shame that the actual 911 calls are the shit part of this game. Are you done yet? I mean, Jesus Christ. Okay, you've got an obstacle. These guys need some help up there. I think we'll send some helicopters up there when we're ready. You can go up there. I don't know why you keep calling for medical transport needed. You're not injured, and there's no people here. Anyway. Whatever, we'll just go with what we got. Okay, you guys are done. You guys, yeah, we're just waiting on stuff still.
Ready for the next case.
Reporting. Understood.
I thought you were going there already. So, you know, this sort of stuff where it's managing resources and sending them to the appropriate places, a lot of fun, and this is where I've sunk in hours and hours and hours, quite happily.
Reporting right away.
Okay, you don't need to go there. You can go... You can go there. Building on fire. God damn it. Earthquakes suck, I'm figuring out. Oh, we need medical down here. How many... Oh, look. You there? Go there. Okay, cool. So yeah, it's just, it's very compelling and one of those games that's really easy to...
Man down.
What? Where?
Grabbing over and just getting out the bait.
What? How did my ambulance get injured? Oh, I guess maybe they're trying to heal people in a burning building. Oh. This is a nightmare. You get that. God damn it. What's going on here? I guess you shouldn't be there unless you've got... Yeah. I'm just going to have to go with what we got right now. But, yeah, it would be cool if the calls were actually a lot better, but...
911, what's your emergency?
Yeah, some of them are good, some of them are a
We
bit...
need help.
Whatever.
Some cables are hanging down on the field near the school. Some kids are laying under the cables. I'll go get them out of there.
Which field is it?
The one at...
Cool.
First, secure the area.
What do you mean?
I want you to look around. Is there anything else going on besides the cables hanging down?
Wait, the ground under the bench is slided, and there's some water flowing out. I guess some pipe is bursted.
Ooh.
Is the water spreading out on the field?
Yes, I can see that now. It flows slowly, but it's spreading.
Are the victims lying in the water?
Yes. Should I get them away from there?
See, this is a dilemma, like... If he helps, maybe...
Hey, I want to help them somehow.
Yeah, go on,
I
why
need
not?
your help.
Okay, I'm
See,
not
like-
deaf. There's a girl laying on...
Yeah, see, I just killed a dude. But, like, the way that responded, like... Rather than saying, yes, you know, citizen, please go help, but be careful. He's just like, they need your help! I'm like, is that really the appropriate response? Drug dealer, so he's probably going to be armed.
What are the orders heading over there?
So, do you know what I mean? Like, it's...
What are the orders? I copy.
It's one of those things, it's like, maybe it's a cultural thing, maybe that's something that, you know, is different. Because there's other things, like, there's a lot more gun violence than, you know, there actually is. As an Australian. Anyway. Because, you know, I played in, on the Adelaide map, and which is the nearest city to me. And there was so much fucking gun violence that it was a little bit hilarious, because it's like, you know, I'm not making a political statement about what the ups and downs of gun ownership, but my god, there was a lot of gun violence in little old Adelaide, which is a very quiet city, where nothing like that really ever happens. So, you know, it was an interesting thing. Come on, guys, let's get some of these incidents resolved. Okay, you can stop off there as well. And you can go there. Okay, you've got that under control. Okay, we've got a few more now that you can go there. Those guys are done with that drug dealer. You can go here. In fact, I might send you up there so you can help out those people if need be. You've resolved that, so you can go there. You can go there. You... Don't know what you're doing, but... Oh, you're trying to get rid of this obstacle. So that's why they have toolboxes, because it helps them get rid of those obstacles. You need to go here. Oh, there's so much going on. That earthquake really threw me to the side. Oh, and there's one way up here. Helicopter will have to take care of that. And we've got an incoming call.
This is Anna Stark from the Silence Evening Care Facility.
Tell me
Okay.
what happened.
We still don't have any electricity after the earthquake.
Okay. Is anyone in a life-threatening situation?
One of our patients has an artificial heart, and his batteries are running out.
Okay, so that's fairly, you
What's the
know,
address?
serious. I think that warrants a visit from a...
Is it possible to
Thing?
recharge the battery?
Internal battery is empty, and external one is almost depleted.
Okay, fair enough.
How much time do we have?
A few minutes. Less than that if you want to transport him in a vehicle without onboard life support.
Don't worry, ma'am. The team is on their way.
Hurry, or he'll die.
It's across town, but I'm sending the helicopter. Because that dude needs his shit. A car blocking the way is not that important. There's a whole lot of things going on. Helicopter, yes. You can go sort that out. The ones with... We want to prioritize the ones that need medical assistance as well.
Heading over there.
So hopefully that helicopter will bust across town and take care of business. See, if they're on patrol and they spot something, they'll actually stop there and try and help out. So, you know, cops will do basic first aid and that sort of thing. Oh, good on you. You got him.
What are the orders?
You need to come down here.
Ready for the next case.
Okay, we've got a few fire things available. So, oh, that car that was blocking the way is gone. Okay, fair enough. Whatever. That's what I mean. I'm not really sure why sometimes, but hey. You can go there. I'm actually going to send this chopper over here to sort this out because something fucked up's going on here. It's taking a long time. You go do that. You can take care of these two. And we can sort this out as we go. Sounds good. Okay. Okay, we're getting there. We're getting there. What was this one all about? Okay, so you can head up there. These guys are dead, I think. Oh, that's right, the caller and the kids. I remember that. That's the guy we got electrocuted. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff where it's like, you can tell this is budget. I mean, it's a really cool idea. And that's what I mean. The best bit is this. The parts where we're on the map and we're... Oh my god, another man down. For crying out loud. Okay, so we lost 2 people at this incident. This is a big incident, actually. What are you doing? Forget about the men down. They're down already. Oh no, you're healing them. Take care of the fucking fire, guys. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Reporting. Heading over there.
We'll send the coppers up there just to see if they can help out. Look, I don't know, this is a bad mission.
Case resolved.
But yeah, anyway, this stuff is a lot of fun. It's the calls that are actually the shit part, unfortunately. Why did you not take the dead guys as well? I don't understand. But you can see our time has run out now, so all we need to do is finish off the current incidents.
What are the orders?
And then we'll be done.
On my way.
So we just kind of need to wait for that to happen.
Case resolved.
You there. Sort it out. You there. You. And you can go help this guy. And then we'll be done. But, holy cow, that was probably an odd mission to showcase. We might do another one after this, because, hey, that's the nature of these videos. They don't have to be short. And I'm not going to do a series on this game, but I'd like to show it off a little, because it is worth checking out, and you can pick it up pretty cheap sometimes, so I would definitely recommend it if it seems like your kind of thing. How are we going here? It's going to take forever. Okay, let's send the other guys over there.
Waiting for instructions.
Let's send them all there, why not? It's only going to... It's a building on fire, okay. And at the moment it's 450 seconds, but if we send other dudes over there, that'll come down really quickly. You see now it's busting down. I mean, we do have the speed up. But that's going to be done in no time with all these units there. And we're resolved. Where's the... They're acting like there's still something going on. Spotted gas oh, it's behind here. You guys are hiding shit from me.
I copy. Go in there.
Reporting right away.
That's really bad. I haven't actually had that happen before. That dude was hiding it. Oh my god, what a waste of fucking...
Waiting for order right away.
That's a shame. That is a bummer, that one. How there's a hospital right there, and so I couldn't actually see what's going on.
Standing by.
But there we go, that's our shift, and we'll find here a report of all the incidences that happened during our duty, and you can see there's some... A whole lot of them timed out, actually. We didn't get to them in time, which is really bad. And that affects our reputation, because our reputation at the moment is 64. And we had a whole bunch of wounded... God. Promotions, promotion, heavily injured, promotion, heavily injured, promoted, injured. Where's the dude who died? I thought someone died. Dead, 0. Yeah. That's alright. So we made 63 grand. We fucked up a lot of things. So our reputation went down. So, and that's kind of, this shows you the back end of what you're trying to do when you take on a mission, because you're trying to earn money so that you can expand and update your roster. And you know, if we had more units on the ground, we'd be able to solve things a lot quicker. Like having another fire truck or that sort of thing. But you're also trying to get your reputation up, because in the career mode at least, the reputation mode is what gets you onto the next level, I guess is the word that I'm looking for. So you want to keep getting positive reputation. You've been promoted to the next city. Oh, what a fortuitous moment that is. So let's check it out. What have we got now? We're downloading images. So basically any city you do, it downloads the maps and that sort of thing, and you can play any old city. So at the moment we're going to do New York. Obviously there's a lot of Americanized ones, because hey, that's how it is. I don't know this one though. Kapolei is a Hawaiian city. Okay. And then yeah, these are all American. So fair enough, whatever, it's an American game. But you can play on local maps if you so desire, which I think is a really good inclusion. Like, there's a lot of good stuff in this game which is like cool features, and you know, shows a lot of potentials. Shows a lot of potential for, you know, ideas and things that they would have had when they were making it. And there's a lot of stuff that I think is really, really cool. It's just a shame that there's some stuff which really just makes it budget and holds it back. Oh, I haven't seen that sort of helicopter before. I guess I've never used a police copter before. So of course we're in New York, so we've got lots of police, some ambos, and some fire trucks. These guys don't have vests at the moment because we might be able to afford some, but we won't be able to afford many, put it that way. They're 1,500 each. And we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So what's that? 3 6s are 18. Oh no, we can afford vests for everybody. Oh, we've actually got some equipment over here. Nice. I didn't realise we would already have that. So let's give everyone vests. This is kind of tedious because you have to hold it over the square as well. You can't just plonk it on the person. So it is a bit tedious kind of loading them out at times. So, you know, there's a few things where this game could be improved. Like the voice acting could be very much improved. The UI could use a little bit of tweaking to make it a little bit more friendly. Like having some keyboard shortcuts would be nice. And, you know, having... Let's give these guys rifles. Because why not? And, you know, just those sorts of... A few little quality of life improvements would go a long way, I think. Now, System Terminal provides easy access to the 911 database, which reduces the time involved in resolving cases. I've never used it before, and I'm not about to, so... Although, we do have some extra officers here, so let's bump up our units a bit. We could even give some... yeah... She can go just in there, why not? And you can bump up the big van. And let's have an extra cop in here. Because we do have the equipment to give them pistols at least. 2, 3. We can afford a couple more vests. And we'll give the other one the system terminal. So that'll be a good loadout to start with, and let's do it. But yeah, a lot of the things that could be improved are fairly obvious, I think, and you know, it's not hard to figure out where the strengths are and where the weaknesses are. You know, a few little interface tweaks could really change this for the better and vastly improve it. Not that it's bad anyway, because like I say, it's a lot of fun as it is. So let's go. Drunk driver. So obviously a drunk driver needs a fast enough car to catch them. Maybe even a bike if this one can't do it. But sometimes you can see them like chasing them all over the map, which is a little bit annoying. Okay, it's just one injured, so we'll send the helicopter because it's across the river. But this is kind of how it works. I tend to go as fast as you can until I get a call or an incident.
If you can't talk, please press any digit on your phone, okay? Press twice if you're in a medical condition and you can't speak. Is your life in danger? Press once for yes, twice for no. The place where you are the doors open? Press once for yes, twice for no. All right, we have your location. Is it... I want you to wait for emergency services. They're going to be there soon.
We're done here.
So that's an interesting one, because I really like that call, actually, because to me that really does convey, oh, that's a real incident that might happen, like someone might call without being able to talk, so how do you approach it? Sometimes it's just a kid who's dialed it, and you say, you know, press any digit and you don't get a response, so you hang up and you call them back. And you go, yo, motherfucker, don't call the 911 when you're not needed. But even then you go, oh, is there an emergency? Because you dialed, but there was no answer. So, you know, it's quite, it can get really interesting, and that's where I think it shows a lot of potential on, you know, interesting ways in which it could happen. See, then the cops solved it without even needing an ambulance, so, you know, whatever. 2 suspects. Drug use suspected. Whatever. So, you know, there's a lot of, like, really good potential. And, you know, a lot of it's executed well as well. What do we got? Drug usage again. You go there, you go there. So there's a lot of stuff to unpack and kind of deal with, and that's where I think it's a nice kind of... Send the bike after the speeding car, because that'll be a bit... They'll probably catch it a bit easier. But yeah, it's nice. Sometimes you do get a really good... There are some good elements with good calls, and you go, oh, that was a really good representation. And then you get dickheads like this. So the interesting thing about this is...
What? No, I just want to...
Man.
Yeah, so this, we can still trace his address and we can go give that motherfucker a fine. And I'm all about that. Pickpocket 1 suspect, possibly armed.
Reporting. We are ready. 10-4.
So yeah, some of those other ones like that, you can
What are the orders?
let me send a helicopter after this guy because this bike is taking forever to get there. But eventually, that address will pop up on our map, and we'll be able to basically go give them a fine for fucking around on 911. And it's up to you to choose whether you want to do that or not, because sometimes if it's a kid who's dialed by mistake and you call back and you get the parent, and the parent's like, oh no, they're playing with my phone, I'm sorry, you know, blah blah blah, won't happen again. This dude's under fire. So guess where the helicopter's going now? Oh, you got 3 dudes there. You got a dude with a shotgun. Take him out. Okay, they're both subdued. The helicopter doesn't need to go there. You can go back to there. Oh, but what's down here? Illegal parking. Okay, so we're going to need a technical vehicle. And we'll send this guy. And we'll send the bike round to this house. And this is the dude who just called. So we'll give him a fine. Whereas, you know, you can choose to ignore it if you want to. And essentially that means that they'll get away with it and it won't matter. So if it is like an innocent mistake, you can make that choice. And you can say, no, I'm not going to fine them because fair enough, you know, shit happens. I'm not going to be a complete prick. Someone's giving birth. Quicker for this guy to get there than this one. But, yeah, so that sort of stuff I think is really interesting because it really makes me, at least, think that it's faithful to what it would actually be like being a 911 operator.
Someone is trying to get into my house through the back door.
What's your address?
Where do you live?
I live at...
So tell me what's happening.
It's probably that crazy Ray, my ex-boyfriend. I heard knocking at the door. He's probably drunk again. What should I do?
I'm sending the police right now. Is it possible that Ray has a weapon?
Yes, he usually carries a knife. Oh my god. He broke down the door. What should I do?
Hang on for a sec, okay?
Run the
I want you
fuck
to find
away.
a room that you can lock the door on. And then get in there, shut it, and lock it, okay?
Okay. Oh god. He knows I'm here.
Hold on, I know you can do this. Police are on the way.
What should I do? I have my father's gun. Should I shoot him?
No.
No, don't shoot him. Put down the gun. The police will be there shortly. Nothing's gonna happen to you.
I put the weapon. Ray, calm down. Stop.
See, that sort of scenario as well, that kind of annoys me. It's like, maybe it's procedure to, say, hide yourself. So, I don't know. However, personally, as just a human being, I'd be like, get the fuck out. Run away, girl. You know, like, head out. If he's coming in the back door, you head out the front door. Like, fucking get out of there. Plus, the whole gun thing, again, is very much an American thing, where, you know, outside of America, I don't really know what to do with guns or what the protocol is, because, well, even inside America, I personally don't know how it works because I'm not an American. So I don't really understand what the protocol is, you know, when it comes to guns and using guns and whatever. It's really foreign to me. So there's a little bit of disconnect there if you're not from this sort of culture with these sorts of procedures. Which, you know, on one hand it's interesting because it's something different. On the other hand, it's kind of annoying because, you know, you want to do one thing, but the game kind of makes you do something else because that's, I guess, more typical. Yeah, I know this shot's fired. Why are you... I thought I sent you there. What are you? Assault on a police officer. Ooh. You get this guy. Because no one else is available.
Ready for the next case.
911.
So, you know, there's a few things like that.
I need an ambulance, paramedics. The woman's life is in danger.
Where are
the
you?
address you're calling from?
It's at...
Where's that? There. Okay. Ambo's on the way.
Okay, how is she in danger? What's her medical condition?
I suspect there could be some internal bleeding, maybe even fractures. Come quick and take her to the hospital.
Do you see any injuries? How does she look to you?
Oh, she looks gorgeous.
Well, what do you mean, sir? She just went through a serious accident, didn't she?
What can I say? She always looks stunning.
Sir, does she really need medical help?
Yes, she fell straight from heaven.
Oh, dear.
Do you know the consequences of such prank calls? If somebody needs help, they might not get it because of you.
Hey, dude, it was just a joke. You need to chillax a bit.
So this sort of stuff I agree with. I'm like, yeah, put this in the game.
I'll send the police who are going to explain to you why they don't tolerate these kind of jokes in our line of work.
Yeah, bitches.
Okay, I'm sorry. Bye.
10-4. Waiting for orders.
Police are on their way, motherfuckers. See, I like that sort of stuff. That stuff's really cool because it's like saying this is the kind of shit that 911 operators have to deal with. And I'm fully in support of defending that and going, that's fucked up. Let's give this guy a fine.
Requesting support. Requesting support. Report. Affirmative. What are the orders? Affirmative. Reporting. Affirmative.
But sometimes it's just, yeah, some of the other calls are a bit dodgy. But I'm not going to keep repeating that because I feel like I've said it enough now. So let's finish off our day. We're almost done. Doing pretty well. No big disasters so far. So you'll notice because this was an assault on an officer and there were 3 suspects, that's why I sent all these dudes over there. Because I knew for a fact that something's going to go down. Whereas this motorbike here is waiting on a vehicle that can transport his suspects. So he's made an arrest, but he can't transport them because they've got... It's a motorbike, so they can't put a criminal on the back of the motorbike. This dude's just handed out his fine, which is pretty good. Yeah, the cool thing as well is like it feels good to give someone a fine when they fuck you around.
911, what's your emergency?
Like,
Hi, there's an unconscious man here.
it really helps.
Where are you calling from?
Around...
Yeah, we'll send this one.
Did you see him pass out?
No, he was on the ground when I found him.
Does he have any visible injuries?
There's blood on his face, and he has a black eye.
I'll just send an ambulance.
I'm
I don't
sending
want
an
to.
ambulance.
Okay, thanks.
I don't want to talk to you anymore. What's this one? Speeding. So Actually, helicopter can do that.
Affirmative.
Everyone else is too far away.
Waiting for orders.
And heading to cop stations.
Injured on board.
What are you doing? Why are you not taking your dudes back?
Standing by.
What's this? Vehicle theft.
Reporting. Affirmative.
Off you go.
What are the
Actually,
orders? I copy. Going there.
they'll need to be transported. And we're not going to get any new incidences now because we're past our time.
Standing by. Case solved.
And that's about that. So if we look through our results here for a second, you can see Bad Pizza, it wasn't resolved because I just told him to fuck off. Oh no, he was under the influence of drugs. Oh, okay, so there you go, I did send an ambulance. But it was -1 because I think I didn't really pay much attention to it or do much. This serious fall? There you go, he was given a ticket for $1,000. So, you know, that stuff I really like because it's like, yep, fuck them. They're messing around. They're, you know, tying up the network. And they're making life difficult. So, fuck them. They can get a fine. And that's where this game really, that's where its strengths are. And that's why I'd say go check it out. Because doing all the stuff on the map and that sort of thing and actually figuring out how to best allocate resources is a lot of fun, and it can actually get quite complex because when you have heaps of teams and you've got heaps of incidences, it only gets harder and harder, as you can imagine, like it escalates. So, you know, you need to designate, okay, I need a technical truck to go to this job, but I need a fire truck to go to this other job, and, you know, so on and so forth. Or like, a motorbike can stop this criminal because they don't need an arrest, they just need a fine, whereas I need a paddy wagon to go down there because there's a group of dudes beating each other up or whatever. So it's really cool. It actually gives you some good decision making and kind of gets you into the mode a bit. The only downside I think is just cultural differences. Like, this is obviously very American centric, and so there's a lot of things about the American legal system and that sort of stuff which is very different to other countries, especially my own. And even though we're still Western, it shows a lot when you see those differences in a game like this, because it's bleeding obvious. And the most obvious one is, you know, the whole gun thing, where we have 0 guns. Sure, some criminals have guns, but most incidences don't lead to gun violence. Like, if there's a shootout, it makes the news kind of thing. Like, it's not 5 in a night or whatever. So, you know, there's a few differences like that which can be a little bit jarring if you are conscious of that sort of thing. But ultimately, I think it's a fun game and it's a good little puzzle strategy thing to check out, so I'd highly recommend it, and that's why I wanted to do this video. So, you know, thanks so much for watching, and we'll clear this one off the backlog and head on to the next in the next episode. Stay tuned for more, check out the channel if you want to see some other stuff, and thanks for all the support. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.